What if, in this very moment, the direction of your life could change forever? What if the limits you've believed in were never real, only stories your mind kept repeating until they hardened into walls? Most people live inside those invisible prisons, pacing the same ground day after day, waiting for a miracle. But what if the miracle is already here, waiting for you to claim it? This is the essence of Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant, within a call to stop waiting and start living with power, clarity, and choice. Tony begins with a startling truth. Your destiny is shaped not by conditions but by decisions. A single decision can redirect the course of a lifetime. Think of history's turning points. A leader deciding to speak when silence was easier. A parent choosing to protect when fear whispered surrender. An inventor daring to fail again until the world changed. Your own life carries the same weight. Every choice, large or small, writes the script of your future. The question is, are you choosing consciously or are you letting old habits and emotions dictate your fate? Imagine a man shackled, but the chains are made of paper. He struggles, believes he's bound, never realizing freedom was always one move away. This is how most of us live, tied down by limiting beliefs, words we once heard, fears we never challenged. Robbins argues that transformation begins the moment you decide, fully and without hesitation, to take command of your emotional state, your meaning, and your actions. Change is not a process of years. It is a decision made in an instant, when the pain of staying the same finally outweighs the fear of change. But decision alone is not enough. Robbins shows us that true mastery begins with our emotions. Every human action is driven by the need to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. These twin forces govern nations, relationships, careers, and personal destinies. Think of a child reaching for warmth or an addict chasing relief or an entrepreneur pushing past rejection to touch a dream. Behind every behavior lies the same equation. What will this bring me, pain or pleasure? If you learn to rewire that equation, you gain the steering wheel of your life. For example, imagine linking unbearable pain to smoking and massive pleasure to breathing freely. You would no longer need willpower, because your nervous system itself would revolt against the old habit. This is the secret of lasting change, linking deep emotional meaning to your choices. Language is the second battlefield. The words you use are not labels, they are triggers. Say, "I'm devastated," and your body collapses. Say, "I'm a little disappointed," and your energy steadies. The difference is not the event, but the vocabulary. Robbins calls this transforming your emotional vocabulary. Leaders, he reminds us, command not just armies but emotions, because they choose words that ignite courage rather than despair. If you change your words, you change your experience. If you upgrade the questions you ask yourself, shifting from "why is this happening to me" to "how can I use this," you unlock new levels of possibility. Then comes the architecture of belief. Beliefs are the lenses through which we see reality. If you believe you are powerless, you will not act, and your inaction will confirm your belief. But if you believe you are resourceful, you will find solutions, and the world will respond in kind. Robbins describes beliefs as the guiding stars of human behavior. Some beliefs empower, others enslave. The key is to examine them, challenge them, and replace those that diminish you with ones that expand you. Think of a person who once believed they were not smart enough, only to discover through persistence that intelligence grows with effort. That shift in belief creates a cascade of new results. The lesson is clear. The story you tell yourself is either the prison or the key. But belief without action is fantasy. Robbins emphasizes the power of standards. Everyone gets in life not what they want, but what they must have. Want is weak, but must is unyielding. When you raise your standards, when you decide, "This is who I am, and I will not settle for less," your life reorganizes around that new identity. Athletes, artists, leaders, each reach greatness not by luck, but by drawing a line in the sand and refusing to step back. If you demand more of yourself than anyone else could expect, you set in motion forces that reshape your destiny. Standards sculpt character, and character sculpts fate. At the heart of this book lies the art of decision as a daily practice. Robbins invites us to take control of the small decisions that accumulate into a life: what to focus on, what things mean, what actions to take. Focus shapes your reality. Two people face the same event. One sees disaster, the other sees opportunity. Meaning creates the story of your life. Are you a victim or are you a creator? Action turns story into results. Without it, even the best intentions rot into regret. These three forces, focus, meaning, and action, are the levers of human destiny. Master them, and you master yourself. But there is another dimension: values. Values are the compass that directs your choices. Many live in conflict because their values clash. Freedom versus security, love versus success, comfort versus growth. Robbins shows how to consciously define and reorder your values so they align with your vision. If contribution ranks higher than fear, you will step forward to serve even when afraid. If growth outranks comfort, you will embrace challenge instead of retreating. By sculpting your values, you create harmony between desire and decision, and this harmony generates unstoppable momentum. Robbins does not stop at the individual. He widens the lens to include relationships, finance, and the body. He teaches that every relationship thrives when both partners commit to giving more than they expect to receive, when love becomes an act of contribution rather than a transaction. In money, he insists that true wealth is not just having resources, but having the freedom to live on your terms, achieved by disciplined decisions, not chance. And in the body, he reminds us that physical vitality fuels every other area of life. Without energy, vision dies. With energy, possibilities multiply. To awaken the giant within, you must awaken it in mind, heart, and body alike. As the journey of the book deepens, Robbins introduces the idea of identity. Who you believe yourself to be sets the limits of what you can achieve. If your identity is, "I'm a procrastinator," no strategy will save you. But if your identity becomes, "I am a disciplined creator," your actions will follow. Identity is the deepest force in human psychology. People will do almost anything to remain consistent with who they believe they are. Change your identity, and you change your destiny. Ask yourself, who am I? Who must I become to live the life I desire? That question alone can shatter years of stagnation. The climax of Robbins' message is empowerment. Life is not about conditions, luck, or fate. It is about the power you hold in each decision, each belief, each action. He insists that the giant within every person is not some mystical force, but the simple truth that you already have the capacity to direct your thoughts, emotions, and choices in any moment. The tragedy is forgetting that power. The triumph is reclaiming it. Imagine billions living asleep, waiting for circumstances to shift when the key was always in their hands. To awaken the giant is to remember you are the author, not the character, of your life. And so we are left with a choice. You can close this story and return to the drift of habit, or you can act. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Robbins' final challenge is to make a decision so powerful that it reshapes the trajectory of your life. Decide what you will no longer tolerate. Decide what you are committed to creating. Decide who you must become. And begin. Every great transformation in history began with such a moment. Why not yours? The giant within is waiting. It is not a matter of if you will awaken it, but when. And the only time you truly own is now. If this message has stirred something inside you, then honor it. Take one action today that aligns with the life you know you're capable of living. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Move your body with it. Do not let it fade into the fog of good intentions. Decisions without action are wishes, but decisions with action become destiny. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it, and begin the work of awakening giants all around you. Because when you rise, you give others permission to rise too.